Hello, welcome to the Enchanted Kingdom of Hermione. We're in the third of pleasure, listening to some swing saxophonists, as the British would call them, and part of a huge haul from the thrift store. I was going to talk about our wonderful thrift store out here in Souk, BC, the Souk Family Resources thrift store, and this is a real thrift store run by mostly little old ladies, all of whom are wonderful, even-tempered, cheery souls, most of them volunteers. I think some people get paid, but it's a real thrift store. They don't treat it like a boutique. And because we had a Salvation Army in Souk for years that has since closed, there's only the one thrift store in a town of 13,000 people, so they've been overwhelmed. And so they have occasional half-price sales, and they have these crazy sales. And of course, COVID means that you can only have 5 people in the store at once. It's been very difficult. They've shortened their hours a little bit. They're only open Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So it's been tough on everybody, shoppers and thrift stores. So I went up to visit for the first time in about a week. And there's a lineup, but it's okay. You get to sit in the sun, chat with your neighbors. I noticed there's a bin of CDs outside, and I'm like, oh. And I mentioned to the lady there, oh, they got more CDs, and one of the ones I know, oh, we're just got tons of CDs. Boxes and boxes of CDs. So while I'm waiting in line, I figure I'll look through the 2 boxes that are there. And this is a thrift store I hit once a week, probably. And I look, and it's full of stuff I've never seen. And I'll show you what I got. Now, I like everything, okay. So, I like everything. So we'll start with the one I found first. That I went, I don't know if this is worth 35 cents. Now, this thrift store sells CDs for 35 cents, which I think is great. I'll pay $2, but 35 cents, I'll buy stuff for 35 cents. I won't buy for $2. I'll buy crazy, weird stuff I can use in the studio. And for 35 cents, I'll buy Andrew Dice Clay's first double CD. I might even listen to it. I'm interested in this. For 35 cents, in perfect nick, I'll buy it. Okay. And it's like, okay, not sure. The sticker was kind of weird. I'm not sure what's going on. Anyway, I'm doing this sort of through genres, if you will. As always, in every thrift store, there's a whole lot of great classical music, especially stuff that I like Scarlatti on Naxos, done on the piano. Sure, 35 cents? Here we go. Mozart cantatas, Siegekirchen, the Petite Band. This is classic stuff. Deutsche Harmonia Mundi, original instruments. This is as good as it gets for this work. And, hey, this one is really funny. A few weeks ago, I did a review where I found this CD, and I was really happy. Sadly, the wrong CD was in it. Guess what? I found another copy in the same thrift store with the right one in it. So, only to me does this stuff happen. Adrian Willard, early music Naxos. I've never heard of Adrian Willard. His dates are 1490 to 1562, so we're talking about early music. And this one baffles me. Not 1, not 2, but 3 Gimmel releases. The Tallis Scholars live in Rome. Tallis Scholars doing Thomas Tallis. That makes sense, doesn't it? And Orlandus Lassus. These are all, the Tallis Scholars are, if you like early music, fantastic stuff. They must have sold a lot of CDs, because I find these everywhere. And I wouldn't be surprised if some of those are doubles. 35 cents, I'll buy Itzhak Perlman's Klezmer CD. Itzhak feels Klezmer very deeply. He grew up in a family that played it. As we know, Itzhak is also a crackerjack violinist. And I really don't know anything about this other than, oh, it's in the Fiddler's House, sure. We'll get around to that at some point. I haven't heard it. Then we have, I love stuff like this. What label is this on? Apogee. Apogee? Well-tempered. 6 concertos for oboe and orchestra. Okay. Who are the composers? It's gonna be Albinoni, Vivaldi, Marcello, Bach, Telemann, and Handel. All very listenable, eminently so. Julian Bream doing Baroque guitar. Yeah, I don't care what's on it. Okay, again, 35 cents. I'll buy it. Wynton Marsalis, the London concert where he does Haydn, Hummel, and Mozart. Now, I'm going to assume this is not the same recording that kind of broke him in the classical world, although I might. Is it the same pieces? I'm going to have to figure that out. I feel bad not knowing that. But he plays classical very well. Very, like a classical guy. And then we get a Bis. Now, I love Bis. Oops, there's bits of plastic coming off in my hand. Ah! And the center ring is shattered. Love it. The Sounds of Finland by the Tapiola Children's Choir. I didn't know the Sounds of Finland could be adequately summed up by only a children's choir, but there you go. Sibelius, Salonen, 3 Japanese songs. What does that have to do with the Sound of Finland? Bach, Handel, Pretorius, Sibelius, and Raudavara. Yeah, there's a Raudavara. Okay, so that's worth owning for 35 cents. Now remember, 35 cents. Okay, so that's the sort of classicals. That's the boring stuff, let's just say. Beautiful but boring. Now, here we're getting to some neat stuff. Watermelon Slim and the Workers. Never heard of him. He's on Northern Blues, a label I kind of know about. And I thought, okay, for 35 cents, I'm going to give this a crack. There's a song on this called Check Writin' Woman. Talk about the problems of the white trash. Now, I bought this Blind Boys of Alabama featuring special guests on every record. Now, normally I would never buy this, but George Clinton's on it. Okay. And Richard Thompson and Chrissie Hynde are on a song. Oh boy! There's no CD. Didn't check it. More fool me. Flaco Jimenez. He of the Texas Tornadoes and Doug Zom, and he's the real deal Tex-Mex accordion player. I love the fact that it comes in a edition where this is the way I have it because I speak English, but you can have it this way if you speak Spanish. Bafo. It's really, from these white ears, very polite, but very rhythmically lovely Tex-Mex. What's the first song again? In Heaven There Is No Beer. They do a very, very straight version of it, but it's lovely, and I like it. Another thing, I was so happy to find this. Stompin' Tom, long gone to the Yukon. So in other words, what we have here is a Stompin' Tom regular issue record on EMI. It doesn't say Capitol anywhere. So I guess Capitol was kind of gone. Everybody in Canada loves Stompin' Tom. For 35 cents, I will buy every one of his records and listen to it. There's a great song called Mrs. Blue Guitar, which is a love song to a blue guitar. A very simple man, but touching. I think I've already got this. Distinto Diferente, Afro-Cuban All-Stars. This was at the beginning of the great Cuban thing. And I'd buy it, 35 cents. I recorded this record. This was the last CD that we recorded in the old Sea of Shit studios. A real favorite, wonderful record. Adam Basterfield, who's now in the Pink Floyd tribute band Pigs, was my tape operator on this, and sadly did not get a credit, but worked really hard on it with me and Paul and Pete Turlin and Jesse Cahill, who made a wonderful record, and that was I think the second to last session in that studio. My friend Dylan Stone from Victoria and his band The Unfaithful Servants. I didn't even know they made a CD. There it was in the 35 cent bin. Okay, now we're getting into some seriously good stuff. Oops, that's in the wrong place. I'm saving you for later. We're listening to, because it's in the public domain and hopefully it won't get flagged by the YouTube police. Now, I should say that in this point in the story, now I'm going through these bins 35 cents. Here we got the three great swing saxophonists. On Bluebird reissue 1998, Coleman Hawkins, Ben Webster, Benny Carter. Now, I don't listen to a lot of this stuff. I really appreciate it when I listen to it, and I will pay 35 cents for it every step of the way. Because these compilations cherry pick the best stuff out of this, pretty much, I've found. When I've had a chance to dig into the raw material, they usually do a pretty good job of that. And yeah, we've been sitting here listening to it the whole time, and it's great stuff to play in the daytime when you're not feeling sleepy or whatnot. But now, at about this point in the search, I noticed that, like many record collectors, the nice person that owned these, and the best ones had these on them. Most of these. Okay, stickers. Now, I don't like stickers on my shit. So, oh, good. It comes off. Look, it comes off. It comes off. It comes off. It doesn't come off. For some reason, these are special stickers created by a very evil person, where this part of the sticker comes off easy. This part of the sticker, I have not yet got one of these off without it leaving a bunch of sticky, gummy crap behind. And if you, there's a way to finesse these, but I haven't learned it with this one. And yeah. Now, okay. As a veteran of record retail, I seem to remember these stickers costing something in the order of 2 cents each, or maybe a cent each. I don't remember. They cost you money, and the ink and all. And you had a gun. You'd kick them off. Now, each of these, I finally looked at one of these and I said to the lady, "What does this mean?" And she goes, "Oh, these are free." So I said, "You mean these ones in these bins are just?" Yeah. So I just got all these gimbal, and that's, these are all for nothing. Yeah, you can just take them. Okay. Needless to say, I kind of reevaluated what was in the boxes, and I came up with a couple of things. But the more I looked, the more I went, "Oh my God, this is free." So yeah, and every one of these had a sticker on them. So these nice people probably spent $1 giving me these CDs because they put all these stickers on them. So what else do we have? Well, we have a Verve best of Rahsaan Roland Kirk. What's not to like? I mean, so this covers all his Mercury stuff and his one Verve record. Now Don't You Cry, Dear Edith. And what's to say, this is as good a single CD as Roland Kirk ever made. And then now we get into some really strange stuff. So now, okay, so Roland Kirk Verve best of. Now I got a Charlie Mingus best of on GRP, a label I have no use for other than when they're reissuing stuff like this. And GRP at the time owned the catalog for Impulse. And Mingus made, I believe, 3 records for Impulse. This is the cream of them. There's only one from his solo piano record, so I have the other 2. I'm sort of keeping this for a single song on piano. I don't know. If I can find somebody to give it to, I will. In addition, I found The Clown. This is the reissue of the original Atlantic with the 80s cover, which, it's on the Atlantic Jazz series, I suspect. This was in the very end of when Nisui Erdogan was involved with Atlantic. It says 1984, so yeah, this would be in his waning days. Again, what's not to like? This was, somebody sold it for $10.99, and it then got cataloged by Mr. Catalog Guy, and then it got dropped to $0.00. The same person has the 2 best Sonny Rollins records. I mean, now they're free, right? Okay, you know what? I'll take this off your hands. I probably already have this. In fact, I might have both of these. Let's just take a quick peek. Oh, that would be so... The embarrassment of riches is really what kind of gets me. Like, where's my Sonny Rollins? I do have Saxophone Colossus. I do not have Way Out West. Okay, somebody's getting a present. That's for sure. And it gets, now it gets silly. We have, I didn't even know this existed. So the best, I think it's the last 3 records of Yusef, I can't pronounce his name right. Yusef Lateef, thank you. And he did a whole bunch of stuff for Savoy and became quite popular. I don't really know a lot about him. He played the oboe, he played sort of ethnic instruments. He was quite popular. And these 3 records, what is this now? It's there was a record called The Dreamer, there was a record called The Fabric of Jazz, Jazz and the Sounds of Nature, Prayer to the East. Okay, so basically 4 albums. These were his last sessions for Savoy. After Savoy, he went to Atlantic, made a lot of, again, pretty popular records. So he was in the same ballpark as Herbie Mann and guys like that. Great player. I can't believe I found this. This is when Savoy Jazz seemed to have had something to do with Warner Brothers. And they've done a great job of this, and it was free. Okay. Okay, then we have Michael Brecker, produced by John Grolnick on Impulse when it was part of GRP. I'm going to bet this is okay. I'm not a huge fan of Mr. Grolnick. Who the heck plays on it? Don't Try This at Home. I actually made a record entitled Don't Try This at Home, so I'm very angry with Michael for stealing my title. Mike Stern, Dan Grolnick. Oh, Charlie Hayden's on it. Jack DeJohnette's on it. Charlie Hayden's on a lot of it. Okay. Brecker is really good. He can do a lot of things well. He can be extremely slick if he needs to. He can be surprisingly earthy if he needs to. Don Grolnick, I'm going to guess this is slicker than earthy. Okay. Then we have Metalwork. Metalwood, I should say. The Recline. Again, I might have this. And they're kind of a modern jazz fusion, would you say? Fretless bass. On Verve Music Group, again, for free. And again, this I'm super curious. There is a subgenre of rock records that I call solo records from guys that were in bands where they were just the bass player and or rhythm guitarist. Pride of Place would probably go to Barry Goudreau from Boston, who, when Boston were completely entangled in legal problems, managed to somehow put a solo record out on Portrait, which was CBS's elite label, which nobody bought. Then, what year would this be? 1984? Okay, my chronology's no good, but anyway, you remember John Ilsley, don't you? The bass player for Dire Straits? Yeah, he made a solo record. In fact, he made many solo records. This was in the immediate wake of Dire Straits' super duper stardom. Who plays on it? I haven't even looked at this. Terry Williams on drums. What's not to like there? There's a lot of people. Mark Knopfler plays on it. Okay. Well, so there's no bad blood, I guess. Mark Knopfler plays all over this, it looks like. Terry Williams. Who knows? I wonder if he can sing or write songs. We will find out in the fullness of time, and I will report on the fabulous. I mean, I just want the label. That's the old original Vertigo CBS CD label, I should say, and a lovely one it is. This is I've got strictly to give to somebody because, needless to say, I've had this forever. Mitchell Froom production, Capitol Records. Lord knows they tried. They tried to get this guy into the top 10. It was not going to happen. They gave up soon afterward. Now we get to the special stuff. These last two. By this point, I knew the stuff was free. And I pulled this out, and I just about shouted for joy. If you've not heard of Ellen McElwain, she's a great, sassy, brassy, slide guitar blues singer. Where the heck is she from again? She spent time in Japan as a kid. Anyway, came out of nowhere and was in a band called Fear Itself, I think they were called. Well, she didn't do anything, but she got the notice of Polydor Records, which in 1972 or so was just getting started in North America, signing all kinds of interesting artists that they couldn't give records away. Tony Williams was one, Genya Ravan. 10 Wheel Drive was another, you know. And Ellen McElwain was one. They couldn't give their records away. And she did these 2 records. This is a reissue of 2 albums. The real Ellen McElwain, which everybody says is her best. And a really obscure one from sometime later called Everybody Needs It. On I think my vinyl copy is on Blind Pig. This has been reissued by good old, what's his name, from Stony Plain. And good for him, because this stuff is well worth reissuing. The real Everybody Needs It, I should say, features none other than Jack Bruce on it. And she did some Jack Bruce songs earlier on as covers, but he plays bass on it. And there's a song on this, and I'm going to look it up and see if it's on YouTube and put a link to it, called Come Sit Down and Tell Me, which I think is just her solo on slide. And captivating performance. I can't recommend this woman highly enough. If you like people like Bonnie Raitt and sort of the blues, with Susan Tedeschi and artists like that, you owe it to yourself to hear this woman. She's fabulous. Finally! I can't believe I found this in the free bin. I'm going to play this next. The sensational Alex Harvey Band. Those of you who know what a great band this was. Those of you who don't, go out and find out about these guys. It was not Pink Floyd who built the first stage where people climbed through a wall. It was these guys. Zell Clemenson, their wonderful guitar player, dressed as a clown and played a nasty Gibson SG. What's his name? John McKenna? One of the McKennas. Played keyboards. The other McKenna played drums. The keyboard, he played accordions. He played Moog. They were insane. They did just crazy stuff on stage, but they rocked out really great. They did ridiculous covers. They did Next by Jacques Brel. They did Delilah by Tom Jones. And they did, what's the other one they did? I cannot remember now. And their originals are great. The Faith Healer has a Mellotron in it. I mean, come on. On Vertigo, original best of, what do they call this one? All Sensations. This is all I need. I love these guys, but I don't need all their records on CD. And Hugh McKenna, that's his name. Next by Jacques Brel. I can't believe it. There's a song on this called Gang Bang. What could I say? 1973. So 35 cents, but nothing because they were free. And not only that, the week before, and I know this is making this long, but I'm going to keep this short, I went in and there, at my feet, and I can't get them out, there was a box of records. Now, I never buy records, you know that. Records are just big, heavy things that get in my way. But you know, I said, how much are they? They're $2 for 20. Indeed. Because, you know, vinyl. So we have the Sultan's Middle Eastern Band. Okay. We have Dreams of Scheherazade. Belly Dance to the Oud. Now, do you detect a trend here? This is on Standard Colonial Records, which is one of a million labels that dealt in this kind of stuff. Now we're getting more into the Monitor Records. They were pretty big. Instrumentals from the Near East. Anestos Athanasiou, who sounds suspiciously Greek to me. Belly Dancing for Everyone on Monitor. Monitor was a label that did a lot of international music. Juliana presents belly dance music for the connoisseur. I like how crooked the layout is on the back of this one. This is pretty cheap. Yeah, you know, exquisite poster of internationally known dancing star Juliana, full color, blah, 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 blah. $5.50 postage paid. That's a lot in 1977. But I suppose that you can find a use for a poster of her if you are of a particular desire. Ernie the Sheik Kochak. Yes, belly dancing records. Now, here's the thing. These are the real deal. These are all guys. These are records that they licensed from the Middle East. And it really is belly dancing music. So there you go. Also in the pile. Oh my God. Naval Academy. There's got to be some. There's always one guy. This is on PI, which, if I remember, Peters International. Peters International, there you go. They were another label. They didn't import, so they licensed stuff and made it in the States. They did everything from Belly Dance Naval Academy to Secret Oyster's first record, the prog rock band from Denmark, who were put out on CBS, and shockingly, CBS USA passed on them. At any rate, yeah, Peters International did a million international. More belly dancing for everyone. I don't know. I don't think I can belly dance. Folk dances and music from Turkey. This actually doesn't have the word belly dance on it anywhere, but it fits right in. Now, the funny thing is, the thing that got me looking at this box of records was this. I have no idea even really what this is. I think it's a woman singing with children. But what caught my eye as a record collector is that it is a Folkways record, and as such, is going to be worth a dime. Because everything on Folkways is really interesting. And so I bought it. In addition, I couldn't resist. They're playable. They have green dots, Jubilee records, and these look suspiciously like they're made by the same people that make fantasy records in Canada. Sensational Rusty Warren. Rusty Warren, and you know what? I'm going to confess I've never heard these, and I'm going to play them. The Life of the Party, another hilarious comedy album. She was a naughty comic. Somebody was trying to sell these for $3 and $6 at some point. So peel those off quickly. There she is with her pointy breasts, which were all the rage in those days. Bounces back. Ho ho! Double entendre. Yeah. Anyway, 10 cents. I figured I'd add them to the comedy collection. Somebody told me that people were paying money for Disney records. Now, did somebody actually write on this cover? Oh, yep, somebody wrote on the cover. Okay, that ruins them. Anyways, I'll find somebody to give those to. And then finally, just because, I found Franz Bruggen, Original Instrumenten, block flute recorder pieces by Franz Bruggen. Now, Franz Bruggen was a fabulous recorder player of the 60s and 70s. We have Jacob Jan van Eyck, Andrew Parcham, Robert Carr, Jacob Jan van Eyck again, and Johann Christoph Peppich, none of whom I've heard of, not one of these composers. So I'll make room for this. They're going to be recorded concertos or chamber pieces of some ilk. And just so you know that I am at heart a vinyl junkie, this is German mid-70s Telefunken vinyl. In my opinion, if I could get records made like this record today, I might actually give a shit about records. Sadly, it is impossible. It cannot be done. The powers that be cannot get the shit together enough to make a record as good as this record was. This record would be from about 1975, I'm going to guess. 69 and 72 are the dates. Yeah. And this is I think this might be a reissue. It is indeed made in Germany by Teldec. Yeah, you know, so, and this isn't DMM, just straight Teldec. But, yeah, 10 cents. There you go. Take me a year to listen to all this. And I think the whole shoot. Oh, and my friend Jillian down the road just sort of happened to find, and this is why I love this Souk Family Resource Center thrift store. I'll say it again. They run it like a thrift store. So put the records out, whatever. These were a dime, yes. And I'm delighted to get these for a dime. Mono. Beatles Help. American version with the original orchestral music in between, which I listened to as a kid, in really good shape. I mean, you know, this is in excellent. I should put an inner sleeve in this. No, I'm not going to sell it. A little bit stuffy, but it is mono, so you probably won't hear it. But no scratches. I don't remember. Why is there tape here? Don't remember if this had an insert or not. At any rate, and also the mono version of what is probably their most chock-a-block record ever. Apparently the 12 songs on this, I think there were 14 on the British version, were written in something in the order of 2 weeks, which is just an accomplishment that's just absolutely mind-blowing when you think about it. This is on United Artists, because the movie came out on United Artists. This is in, also, pretty damn good shape. On the terrible, boring Canadian black United Artists. Who made this? Compo Canada. I'd love to know about Compo. They made Warner Brothers back in the day. And they made kind of not bad, not great records. But I'll make room for this. Oh, there's an instrumental of I Should Have Known Better. That's interesting. Didn't know that. Oh, there's a Ringo's theme. There's 3 instrumentals on this. Okay. Anyways, thank you, Julian. I'd love to have them. I'm going to make room for them. And so those were a gift. So yeah, $2 I think for all this. I'm going to sit here and watch airplanes and ships and play some more of this happy swing music. And sign off. And I'll talk to you later. And see what comes to pass. Stuff like this happens just out of the blue, so I've no shortage of tales to tell in the world of records, CDs, music, etc. Anyway, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the notification button and all the things that remind you of where I am when I'm putting these out. And take care of each other. Got my shot a couple of weeks ago, so I'm almost invincible. You should get yours too. Hopefully we can get back to normal before the end of the year. Anyways, take care. We'll talk to you later.